the book of Daniel. It's right after Babylon and after Jerusalem. They plundered the city, taking care of the Israelites on their exile, and his foremen were Raphael, David, Daniel, named Belshazzar, and his three friends. They have a look, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Book of Lions, very simple 1 to 6 stories about Daniel and his friends back to home, and visions of Daniel of the future. Very interesting, another design the picture, his language. It begins in Hebrew of the Israelites, of Hebrew, a cousin language, spoken widely in chapter 8 to 12, back to Hebrew, and 2 to 7. Israelites, the appointed, it's time the latest chapters. And let's just dive in. Chapter 1 introduces the tension. First half of the book, Daniel and his friends, wise and capable, of Babylon, pressure to give up Jewish identity, and value Jewish food for the Torah. They refuse their faithfulness to the Torah. It puts them in danger. And it'll be elevated by the king of Babylon. And it's an Arab section. It's a cool symmetrical design. The king of Babylon has a dream. And though Daniel will interpret the dream, whole statues and symbolize of kingdoms. And the head is Babylon. And a huge rock flies down and shatters a statue and a huge mountain. And the first dreams are many symbolic of the book. And the first basic Daniel says the statue represents trains of the kingdoms of falling to Babylon, of violence. One day, God's kingdom will come and will humble the ignorant kingdoms and fill the world with healing and justice. After their older rule, the flee of the three friends refutes to alter the empire, and the king is in power. The friends are prosecuted and thrown to a fiery furnace, and God's deliverance from death, resulted by the king, acknowledge their God. And a pair of stories, no Babylonian friends, Nebuchadnezzar and Belshazzar, filled to your pride, because everyone is fear of power. In chapter 2, whoever's these two men, visions. Chapter 2, and only Daniel can interpret them. Both kings had humbled themselves in God's kingdom, and both ignorantly resist. And since they restrict him with ragness, and humbles himself from God, and restored him as a king. And a contrast as Belshazzar, no way. And he assassinated. These two stories draw the image of Genesis chapter 1 and 2 and Psalms 8, where humans are depicted as the royal image of God, to rule over the God's beasts of field and the air, and true king, and human kingdoms, but they forget that, they rebel, make themselves into their own God. They become less than that, violent beasts, and will fulfill God's justice. In chapter 6, and it's Daniel, being prosecuted, and forced to pray, and like the friends, at death, and thrown to the lion's den, while the beast, and the king exalts Daniel, and it's this chapter, pair 2, sent to the book, where the books come together, and Daniel this time. And you don't understand the dream until another messianic messenger sends it to him. One like a lion and a bear, and like a leopard. Each just symbolizes a purity of kingdoms, a Semitic beast, and an empire. Lots of horns, a comic symbol, the Old Testament, and the king who exalts, and the king that exalts himself God above, God and all his people. And so I figure a single of a man, of a covenant people, and also for their king, the Sutherland, an Ancient of Days, and he comes, sits on his throne, and destroys all his beasts, insults the man in the clouds, in his right hand, and shows what's good rule the good nations. We can look back, see the first half of faithfulness, the persecution, offer hope to God suffering his people and nations. They suffer because the humans' kingdoms rebelled against God and become beasts. And these visions encouraging patience for God's people just to wait for God's kingdom moving in this world and vindicate. And raise the question, when is God gonna do that? And it's his final three visions here on explore. Chapter 8, Daniel has another vision. And this letter 2 symbolizes a ram, as it told us the image of Medicae of prior Egypt, of Persians and Greeks, and a bunch of horns symbolize the evil. Chapters 7, and attack Jerusalem, exalt himself above God, and attack with idols, and be destroyed by God, and he will exalt his people. In chapter 9, Daniel is about passive. He consulted Hall Stroke, prophet Jeremiah. Israel's exile was 7 years, and the 7 years is almost up, and asked God to fulfill the promise soon. The angel comes and informs him the sin and rebellion has continued, so the time of exile will last 7 times longer. And as in vision, Daniel's disturbed. The final vision shows a sequence of king, priest, and then the great and lesser kings, all leading up to the king of the north, of Jerusalem, set up idols, exalt himself above God, and soon the king will come to ruins. And let's debate what does all this refer to. Many see a clear connection. Assyrian king Antiochus Indo, 160 BC, and killed many Jews of idols, and is pointing forward to the Roman Empire, destruction of Judas, execution of Jesus, and destruction of the temple in 70 AD. Others think, yet it happens when Jesus returns. The problem is symbols, numbers don't quite match. These views are perfect, open up the possibility they're all right. The Book of Daniel is a book of design, offering hope to all future generations. And did so the days of Tagati's empire ever since. So Jesus used Daniel to describe Jerusalem leaders that confronted, such as John the visionary of Arthur the Revelation, adapt Daniel's vision to describe Rome, all future empires of this day. And the point of Daniel is for all the generations, a pattern of promises that human beings becoming a violent peace as they glorify their own power and don't acknowledge God's kingdom. And Daniel holds on. God will one day confront the beast and rescue his world and his people and all the kingdoms over in all nations, all generations. This book speaks hope that should motivate faith. And that's what the book of Daniel is all about.